So I'm firing up the Oculus link. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, cool. So I'll start the application. Okay, so here's my assignment to environment. As you can see, I have two hands to implement the interactions. I can move using the left joystick and I can also turn. So the head movement and translation is implemented. My head, as I rotate my head, the view changes. So even that thing is implemented. As you can see, mm, I can enable the picking mode by pressing the trigger button. Here you can see the ray. So now let's go into the NCS building. As you can see, this is the NCS building. I'll turn. Okay, so here is the bucket that we are going to use to collect our trash. So I'll press the X button to take this bucket in my hand. So here you go. The bucket is in my hand. So now I can start collecting trash. So before doing that, let me show you the mini map. When I press Y, I get into the mini map, the WIM mode. In this mode, you can see there are two collection sites, three trash sites, the NCS building, as well as the apple tree. The trash site also has a number ahead of it which indicates how much trash is remaining on that site, and there is a red dot you can see that indicates the current position of the player. So if I move the left joystick, the position of the player moves. So as you can see, I have now moved myself from the NCS building to some other position, and if I press X, you can see that I have teleported to that location. So we were earlier in front of the NCS building and now we are here. And the translation is also implemented, so we can just walk where we want. We can use head turning as to change the direction. So if I am facing in this direction and I walk, I can walk in that direction. I can also turn my head using the joystick. So yeah, that's there. So now let me show you the trash picking mechanism. So I press the trigger button for the single select mode, and whenever the ray hits an object, its material changes to this semi kind of a superimposed highlighted material to indicate this object is to be picked. And when I press an X button, that object will come into my hand. And to drop this object into my bucket, I just press another X button over here. Oh, okay, here we go. So here the object is now in my bucket. So I'll do the same with the other objects. I'll put all these objects in the bucket. The trigger button is the one for the single select mode. Okay, and now let me show you the map is being updated. So as you can see, there are the trash site one indicates 6 in front of it. So this is because 3 trash objects are now in my bucket, so they are not being counted over here. So now let me return to the normal view. So let me show you the multi-select functionality, the bubble functionality. So I press the grip button which enables the multi-select functionality. The multi-select functionality works the same way. It's just that a bubble starts or spawns at the location of the first hit. It keeps on expanding, and when I press Y, the bubble stops expanding. So the objects inside the bubble will now be um, come in a, come in my hand. Oh, sorry, the bubble kind of went away because I missed my object. Okay, cool. Now if I press X, all these objects come into my hand. So this is the multi-picking mode. So now I can put all these objects into my bucket over here. So let me just put these two more objects too, and then we'll move on to the collection site. Here we go. So here all the objects have now been picked up. You can see on the map the trash site has completely gone. This is because we have collected all the trash at this position. So now let's move to the collection site. I'm using the minimap teleportation facility to move to the collection site. This is the collection site 1, as you can see. Okay, now let me show you the bins. Okay, here are the bins in which we are going to manually sort the trash and throw into them. So I again use the same functionality for picking up objects. I go near the bin and I drop it. And as you can see, there is a proximity threshold for this dropping. So if I pick up one of these objects, let me just pick this up, and if I press X, nothing happens. This is because it is not within the drop point of any of these objects. But if I go closer to this cans bin and I press X, it goes into the um, goes into the dustbin. So this is the proximity logic. So now let me just put all the trash, make sure that I'm sorting it correctly. The leaves go into the compost bin. Here we go. I press X. The bottles will go into the plastic bin, and the cans will go into the cans bin. Okay, so let me also show you the cancel functionality. So let us go to the next trash site using the teleportation facility. Okay, so now we are at the trash site. So now let's say I want to cancel. So I have just enabled the selection mode. As you can see, the objects are being highlighted. Now let's say I don't want to select anything. I want to cancel this operation. So I can press the joystick and the cancel. The objects will be cancelled. So now I cannot interact with these objects. So the cancellation functionality is also implemented. So let me just pick a few objects for you over here. The working mechanism is the same as the other object. So I can just move over here and go into the dustbin and drop these parts off, and you'll see that it has been updated. The map has been updated. Okay, this is inside the bin. This is also inside the bin. So this is the collection site 2. As you can see, it is on the opposite side of the collection site 1. And let's move to the third trash site. Okay, so here is the third trash site. This too has 5 leaves and 2 non-leaf trash. So let me just pick up a few objects from here. And as you can see, we had picked up 2 objects from trash site 3 and had thrown them in collection site 2. So the map has been updated to show that. And let me just give you another demo of the multi-select facility. You press Y, the bubble starts expanding. You press Y again, the bubble stops expanding. You press X and the objects come into your hand. You press X and the objects go into the bin. Now let's teleport to the collection site. Here we go. And now let's sort this. As you can see, the trash site 2 at the top has also been modified, that only 3 objects are remaining over there. So I'll just put all these objects into the correct position. So now let us teleport to the apple tree. So as you can see, these apples are interactable. You can kind of see from the fact that they are being highlighted. And these leaves are the autumn leaves which are non-interactable. This is the dried grass, so you cannot interact with this. The terrain too is kind of a spring texture with dried grass and ice on it. So we can interact, we can pick these apples using the same functionality. Here we go, the apple is now in my hand. I can put the apple inside the bucket and pick all these three apples. And this is the extra functionality which was asked for. And these are the trees, the background trees. As you can see, these are all fall backgrounds. The trees have these fall textures, and these trees in the foreground have kind of an animated effect of moving with the wind. So yeah, this is the assignment. Thanks a lot.